As an Uber driver, I was used to having conversations with total strangers. What I wasn't used to was those conversations changing my life. I knew right away when I picked up Chad and Steph a few years ago that they would be different. As they tumbled into my back seat, so excited to be on their first ever Uber car, they immediately looked outside and started commenting excitedly back and forth about everything they saw. They were like two giddy school kids on a field trip. They were so present to the world, so alive. In fact, they were looking at the same things I was complaining about, and they were being grateful for them, like the pouring rain, or all the people on bikes, or the whole month of June, whatever that meant. I was so confused about these people and so interested in who they were, so I found myself blurting out, "You guys are so happy, where are you from?" Steph jumped in right away and said, "Well, we're really from Mount Vernon, where our kids and our house and our life is, but now I guess you could say we're from Seattle because about a year ago we bought the apartment that you picked us up at." When I asked why they bought the apartment, she said that she needed a place to stay while Chad was in treatment. And the word treatment sort of hung in the air, and a knot formed in my stomach. I summoned up the courage to ask Chad about the treatment. He explained he had a rare form of blood cancer and had been in and out of a variety of treatments for about 3 years to no effect. And in fact, the next morning, Chad was going to check into the hospital and they were going to do one last procedure to try and stop the cancer. This conversation had gotten so intense, I pulled over to the side of the road, and the knot in my stomach became a lump in my throat, and I tried to find the words to ask about the treatment and about his chances. Chad said, "Well, they're about 75%, and that made me feel so much better until he finished his sentence. He said, "There's about a 75% chance that I will die in the procedure, and if I make it through the procedure, there's very little chance it'll do anything for the cancer." He said, "You know what, Chief? Tonight's pretty much my last night alive, not in a hospital bed." I was fighting to keep the tears back and wondering who these people were when Steph said, "That's why we're going out to Chad's favorite restaurant tonight. We're going to celebrate the life that he's had and our daughters and our family and our 10 years of marriage and just all the life experiences we've had." My head was pounding, and I just let the tears come at this point. Who were these people? I mean, where was the bitterness? Where was the anger? Where was the self-pity? If this was my last night alive, I would not be celebrating. I just wanted to sit there and talk with them for hours. I wanted to go to Mount Vernon and see their life and meet their kids, and most of all, I just wanted to cure Chad. Through the tears, I tried to explain that to Chad as best I could, and mumbled my way through something, and that's when he gave the response that broke me. He said, "You know what, bud? I wouldn't trade my life for anyone's." I drove the last few blocks in total silence, trying to see through my tears, wondering how I was supposed to say goodbye to these total strangers. And a minute later, as I'm hugging them on the sidewalk in the pouring rain, I knew this conversation would change my life. I began to think, what does it take to live like that? What does it take to have that amount of gratitude and presence and fullness to the way you live your life? Maybe it takes suffering of that magnitude to do it. I don't know, but I knew that I had to try. And as I stand here tonight, I just can't help but think that what if we all tried? What if we treated every conversation like it had infinite potential? What if we treated every moment like it was full of possibility? What if we were grateful for the things that we complain about? Maybe then when it's our turn to suffer, we'd be able to say that we wouldn't trade our lives for anyone else's either. And maybe that the way that we suffer, maybe we might change somebody else's life the way that Chad and Steph have changed mine. Thank you very much.